So everything you see on this table is what I think I need to go ultralight. So I went through all of my gear and I weighed some of it, and some of it I already knew was the lightest. So not only is everything here what I want to take backpacking, but it's also the lightest weight version of that particular item that I have. I'm not trying to go as lightweight as possible. That would just be a survival expedition. I'm trying to get to the magical or arbitrary 10-pound weight that is considered ultralight backpacking with the gear that I have and still be as comfortable as I normally would be. So, let's see how I did. So to be honest, this is less about being able to go ultralight and more about being able to backpack with a knee injury. This was just my way of rationalizing it. That's everything, except for my table. Let's find out how much it weighs. $9.82 pounds. Alright, how much was my table again? I'm taking it anyway. Let's go on a backpacking trip. Ultralight. Had to stop at a Walmart and buy a cup. Getting forgetful in my old age. So I'm listening to a podcast, a backpacking podcast, and they were talking about trail coffee. And it dawned on me, I forgot to bring my cup. I thought about just I hate drinking out of my cook pot. I'm just not a fan. I know most people do that. I don't like drinking out of metal or especially titanium. We're on our way, and I have a coffee cup because I would have been bumming. Favorite part of the day.
Continue ahead, or 4 miles, then you will arrive at your destination.
Alright, I believe we have reached our destination. Well, at least the parking part of it. The trail should be right there. I severely underestimated how long it was going to take to navigate this maze of dirt roads. And I use the term roads quite loosely. I'm going to just go through my checklist, make sure I have everything, and get the pack on. And I'll talk to you once we start on that trail. Let us begin. Pretty much blue skies. A few clouds out there. A bunch of haze. So I'm expecting some dew tonight. I'm also expecting 50 degrees for a low, so it's gonna get a little cool. But that's gonna feel good. Because right now, it's pretty warm. warmer than I thought. This is an interesting bridge. I don't think I've ever seen one quite like this. So part of the reason why I picked this hike, or found this hike I should say, is because where we parked, you could actually drive all the way to where we're actually hiking to. They closed this road down in 2012, I believe, which is a good thing, because the lake we're heading to, which is called Indian Lake, was seeing a bit of overuse, and that's one of the main factors that played into the decision of closing this down, and said, hey, if you want to use it, you're gonna have to hike in. But because it's an old road, it should be fairly easy going. And with my knee, I really shouldn't be doing any hiking, but I can't take it anymore. I really want to get out to something that's not just a car camping site. This fits the bill pretty well. I figure I already walk several miles a day at work anyway, and that's just fine. So this really shouldn't be any different, except for the fact I'm carrying weight, which brings me to the second part of this. I'm trying to go ultralight for the first time, which, to be honest with you, I'm probably not that far off anyway. So although I'm not really into the ultralight scene, can really send you down a rabbit hole. However, it's probably not a bad idea to try to strive for it, then add the things back on that are your creature comforts, and you end up with a pretty lightweight pack. I'm gonna guess that I'm no more than a 12-pound base weight. I usually just weigh my pack total, and it's usually around 17 or so for this time of year. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. As I said, it's basically a road that's giving itself back to the woods and nature, so it should be pretty easy going. It's about 2.5 miles to camp. There's a couple of ponds and lakes that I want to hit along the way. A couple of them are very short, but one is about a mile down and a mile back, so that adds 2.25 miles each. That's another one, that's 3. So you're looking at like 5.5 miles probably. But tomorrow morning when we come out, straight shot back. I have to keep an eye on the time though, because I don't really want to get to camp and set up in the dark. So plan subject to change, but you all should be used to that by now. The thing I think I really have to watch are the boulders like this, and just not sending this leg sideways on one. But that's the kind of stuff we were driving over. I don't think I told you where we're at. We are in the Adirondacks. I'll call it South Central, in what's called the Moose River Plains. If we continued on this trail about a mile past where we're going to end up, we'd actually be in West Canada Lakes, I think it is. So these are interconnected. This is pretty remote. You are definitely out there. Yeah, no kidding. Looks like it flattens out now though. Well, now I'm pretty certain that I'm gonna have this place all to myself, because every 20 feet or so I get a cobweb right across my face. Nobody's walked back here, and from the looks of the ground, in quite a while. So I guess this really has been a tale of what was once an overused lake is now very much underused. But that's exactly what I was looking for. Signs of the old road, I would imagine. It's almost like a little bit of overburden when they made it. I guess probably going back 100 years for timbering, but it's back in Mother Nature's hands now. They remind me of a ferret. I have to pull out the phone here pretty soon, because I feel like I should have come across a couple of the landmarks by now. There was a pond and a creek crossing in the beginning, and then about halfway down we'll get to a trail that goes off to what's called Squaw Lake. I just feel like I should have seen at least the first one, but I've kind of just been looking around and I could have just blown right past it. But I do have a rock in my shoe, so I'm going to stop and take care of that and check out the GPS. So we are that little blue beacon right now, and we're getting close to a lake, but it is Muskrat Lake. But I swore that there was a place called Squaw Lake, and I guess I just am making that up. So there's Muskrat Lake, Muskrat Pond, and then Indian Lake, which is where we're going to. Huh. Humid. Alright, well, I guess I'm dreaming. I had a target of Squaw Lake, and I guess I'm confusing it with Muskrat Lake. And it is getting quite buggy. Hopefully we'll make it through. Now, I'm wondering if the road closure went in phases, because here's a barrier of sorts and a sign that says no motor vehicles beyond this point. So we have Squaw Lake 0.75. Indian Lake 2.6. Huh. Well, either I think I got bad intel, because Indian Lake should only be 2.6 from where I parked. Well, that changes things a little bit. Well, I guess we'll just take our chances, because there's no singing anyway. This just really must be somewhat abandoned. Well, let me think about it in the next 3/4 of a mile, we'll figure out what we're gonna do, because that's gonna start racking up a bunch of mileage that I'm not planning on doing. And I already noticed on that last little bit a hint of my limp coming back, so that means it's starting to in some way bother me enough to start favoring it. So I'm not going to push the limits for any reason. And who knows, maybe Squaw Lake will have a really nice shoreline and a camping opportunity. Just doing the rough math in my head, so we've already gone, we're over 2.5 now. That's 5, 7, 9, so we're looking at close to a 10-mile day. Now it would be 5 miles back out tomorrow. I don't know. I think I might be breaking some promises at that point. If you follow this channel, then you know plans are always subject to change, and they usually do. And the mosquitoes are kind of getting a little intense. I'll have to dig out some bug spray here pretty soon when we get to whichever lake it is. All right, Squaw Lake 0.4, Indian Lake 2.3. It's 5:45. Do we take a chance, or do we just push on to Indian Lake, where we know there's a campsite? Now, 9 times out of 10, when you have any significant body of water, there's probably somebody that's made a campsite unofficially at it. Oh, decisions. We can't do both. I know that. I'm going to take my pack off and have a drink, and I will come back to you with my decision on what I'm going to do. Well, you can definitely tell that most people go to Squaw Lake, because that trail is very well worn. And that one seems a little bit overgrown. However, Indian Lake is substantially bigger, and I'm not feeling too bad. So I think we're going to push on. We'll skip Squaw Lake, or Muskrat Lake, and yeah, let's go to Indian Lake. Ugh, mosquitoes. 6 o'clock. Should be easy going. I'm trying not to move too fast, and there's probably points where I was moving faster than I should have been. Hope this isn't like this the whole way, overgrown. You can see this is one of the old primitive campsites when this used to be a road. I'll bet you we'll probably pass a couple more of those. There is a very old outhouse. So essentially, all those ones we saw on the drive-in, this was just a continuation of. Another big fire ring there. I picked the wrong hike to wear shorts. It's always quite strange to come across things like that this far out. And there's another caution steep hill back there, which we've already made it up. Starting to see a lot more pine trees. the swamp I was referring to. Just stopping like that gets me covered with about 30 to 40 mosquitoes. What does this say? Entering camping area number 8 and number 7 is about all I can make out of that. It's almost a little eerie just seeing the old signs. And yeah, I don't know, it's like being in an abandoned camp or something, which I guess essentially you kind of are. Very much overgrown. I think I'll have to do a tick check. I also think now I do see Muskrat Pond. It wasn't back there. Trail to Muskrat Pond, 1/10 of a mile that way. The trail's kind of there, but we got a lake to hit, so we continue on. All right. Cobwebby and buggy, but we got through it. We are at 4.20 miles. So yes, under a mile at this point, at least to the lake. I hear running water, pretty significant running water. So I'm even seeing a bit of a waterfall back there. Right back, I know you can't see it, but maybe you can hear it. So this is a very swampy, moosey area right here. And I believe that that is Indian Lake Mountain, just up there. So Indian Lake should be at the bottom of that mountain. I read that there's a section of this that's prone to flooding, and I imagine this is probably it. But there's a lot more mud here. Other than lone deer prints, mine are going to be the first prints through this mud. The first time I've ever been the first prints in the snow on an Adirondack trail, and a popular one at that, was this winter. And that is the first time I've ever been on an Adirondack trail and had my prints be the first ones through mud. So it's a year of Adirondack first. Maybe we can make it a threefer, because if that's not moose territory, I don't know what is. So maybe I can see my first moose while hiking. I was just about to turn the camera on for two reasons. I got this whiff of lake water, and anyone that lives by or hangs out at lakes, you know what I'm talking about. And then I came up on this, probably, well, I'm certain, the final primitive campsite that was a drive-up site. And there's an old picnic table here, an old fire pit. When I saw this, I was like, oh no, really? And the trail does go that way. In fact, we can get even farther in, and I can't remember the name. Oh yeah, Horn Lake. Horn Lake is out there. But when I looked up, I saw this. We have Indian Lake, 2/10 of a mile, the New York Foot Trail, and a "you're allowed to camp here" disc. So you can really camp anywhere in a state forest, with 3 rules. You have to be 150 feet from a road, a trail, or waterway, unless you have one of these. And what this basically says is, we're going to let you camp here because we don't want campsites all over next to the water. So we'll give you a couple. So we're probably going to hike down this 2/10 of a mile and find more of those yellow discs. Mosquitoes. Slightly more of a traditional hiking trail now. Oh, yes. I'll explain my exclamation in a second. I was thinking on the way up here, boy, I hope there's loons at this lake. And there very well could be. Love hearing them in the morning. Not a single footprint through this mud. Ooh, that was a little deep. Carry it in, carry it out. Camp here disc. And we have a fire pit, a picnic table, and of course, one very beautiful lake. Oh wow. There's a rickety one, but it looks like there's an outhouse up here. Whew. Yeah. I don't know about that. So update, we are staying here for a few different reasons, and let me show you them. A, love having that. I'm already spread out. B, I have firewood. And all those puck marks are hoof prints. I found moose poop. Tons of it. It's everywhere. Now it's very old. Just the idea that I know they were right here. I like that. That means they could be somewhere out there. The other bonus is this bottom is very silty. Water is going to be hard on the filter, but there's a solution for that. Look what I found. Now normally, if I come across one of these, there's no ore, but there's an ore. So we're gonna call this home. I'm gonna hurry up and get set up because I want to get that boat in the water. I'm just gonna go out a little ways because I don't have a life jacket. Fill up my water jug, come back in, and then we'll start thinking about phase 2. It'll be dinner and a fire. Let me get camp set up. I can't believe there's a boat all the way out here. What I think we're gonna do, set up the hammock from this guy here to that guy there. This is awesome. Alright, so full disclosure, this is my first time using this. This is one of those where you kind of gotta do a little bit of a trade-off. So this is the Dutch Wear half-wit hammock, and it's a bare bones stripped down version, kind of intended for the ultralight or lightweight minded hammock backpacker. For a bug net, and this is where the name half-wit comes in. Basically, you lay down in the hammock and then you put the bug net over your face. So your head's in here, your body's here, but your body's covered up by your quilt, and this just falls down onto your quilt right here. I've seen people use it. People say they like it. It works great. I don't know. I did lay in it in my basement when I first got it, but tonight will be the test. Being that we hiked a little bit more than we thought we were gonna, I'm thinking it's not gonna matter. Alright. Finish setting up because we got a canoe ride. It's actually been a while. Been spoiled. I haven't had to fiddle with all the little adjustments of an underquilt in a long time. That's my view. I sleep with my head to the left. That was a big fish that jumped. So that means this will be my view tonight. Not too shabby. Alright. Let's see if we can get a canoe in the water. Can't believe there's no more. Alright, let's go for a boat ride. I'll just put you down for a minute. Alright, well, before I get too enthralled, I guess we should come, or do, what we came out here to do. It's actually fairly warm water. Still got a tinge, but better than it would have been on the shore. Alright. It's not that much different than it would have been on the shore, but that'll be easier on the filter, and I wasn't going to pass up a chance. Go for a boat ride. I mean, come on, right? I'm just gonna hang out here a few more minutes. And the sun is going down, so it won't be long until that's behind that mountain. So I'm gonna enjoy probably another 5-10 minutes and then head back in. I can't believe there was an oar. Alright, I suppose we should turn ourselves around, start heading for shore, and we'll catch the rest of that sunset from the campsite, and we gotta make some dinner. Perfect landing. Ooh. Well, that's horribly slow. Well, this is going to take a while apparently. I've never used this one before. So, I'll do this. We can watch the sunset together. Sun has set, so I'm going to start making dinner. Start working on that fire. I'm also using a new cook kit, and I really like this one because of the top. This is Darling on the Trails, or Darling's cook pot. He started a gear company, Evolved Supply Co., I believe. If that's not right, I'll put that up here. But this is one of the first things I saw that he had, and I really liked it simply because of this lid, with having that little wooden nub on the top to lift it. It also has the handle that you can hang if you want over a fire, which is also really nice. But that was my selling point. That, and it's got a pour spout. Good job, Darwin. Love it. On tonight's menu, chicken Alfredo pasta. So food is definitely next on my list. But first, I'm going to go ahead and light this fire because the mosquitoes are insane. I can't wait for the temperature to drop. I really can't. So I can put more clothes on. I may just put them on anyway and sweat. I have 200 of them around me right now. So let's light this fire up. Try the pyro putty again. It worked great last time. Oh, all I hear in my ear is buzz. It'll be great if this wood's a little wet, because we need some smoke. They're just, I don't even care. I just want to get this lit. Good Lord. Ooh, smoke, 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 smoke. Beautiful thing. Give myself a smoke bath. I will not do Ultralight again in this weather. Mosquito repellent. Okay. Well, that should help while I eat dinner, because it would be really hard to eat with the bug net. And I was ready to put it on. And you can ask Logan. I don't wear that often. Horrible. I'm finally gonna try my dinner at 9:15. They seem to come in waves. Different breed of mosquito up here. I'm not really an Alfredo guy, but that's pretty good. There is so much chicken in that. They don't skimp at all. Oh, I forgot to get the canoe. I gotta go do that. So I'm gonna finish this hot chocolate and crawl into that hammock. I will see you all in the morning. Good night. I gotta get the food bag. I need coffee. Oh man. Let me make this and then we'll talk. So I didn't start making coffee yet. I want to get my camera out. By the way, use your hip belt around a tree. You don't have to worry about critters running off with your bag. But anyway, there's been, I don't know what's going on, tons of splashing. And what kind of sounded like a moose call. Yeah, alright. I'm gonna get this out and then I'm gonna start making coffee. I just want to have it ready. I don't know what the heck that was. Oh, here come the mosquitoes. Still pretty cold. They shouldn't be out yet. I was wondering when they were going to show up again. It was nice to have the reprieve. I got the camera out and tried to be ready for whatever that was, but never saw the culprit. The ripples finally made their way over the camp. Just a glass, still lake. And then all the ripples started coming. And now it's back to still again. That was peculiar though. Oh. Alright, I'm going to enjoy this and pack up. So I'll talk to you in a little bit. The stars were absolutely incredible last night. There was more stars than sky. Time is ticking away. In fact, I'm going to probably forego my usual oatmeal breakfast and just have another coffee and granola bar. And then finish packing up and get after it, because we got a little over 5 miles to get back to the truck, and then close to 6 hours of driving. It was much needed, and I enjoyed it a lot. The hammock, again, I don't want to persecute it too much because it's an ultralight hammock, so there's a give and take. There's always going to be a trade-off, but I slept well in it, so that says something. I might have to just play with it a little bit, and it's a good hammock. It's a blessing that places like this still exist. I mean, the level of quiet can be deafening, if that makes sense. Right now, it's just quiet, because there's birds and frogs, and there's some ducks and some loons over there, an owl. But first thing this morning, and I ended up going back to sleep, but I heard a lone loon call, followed by nothing but silence, where you can almost hear the blood. I always attribute it to it's your blood pressure, but just like that low white noise, it's so quiet that that's all you hear. Definitely needed this. And the knee doesn't feel bad. Well, I mean, I've only walked around camp, but I'll get the brace on before we get going, and some ducks. Yeah. That's my morning report. Beautiful spot, though. And there's hundreds, if not thousands more, just like it, all up here in the Adirondacks. Coffee number 2. Well, did my final sweep around camp. Everything is set, so I'm going to get that pack on and head on out. I'm going to keep this on for as long as I can until I really start sweating, because the little mosquito friends are out in full drove again. I'm getting very low on my bug juice. Goodbye, wonderful camp. Let's go. I already know the dew is thick and the cobwebs are thick. I'm just hoping these mosquitoes will just give me a little bit of a break. But we're gonna try and make some time, because it's 11:15. I really hung out. So realistically, it's gonna be after 1 by the time I get back to the truck. But that's all right. It's just a walk in the woods now. Well, my feet are significantly soaked now, so got that over with. And I got so many cobwebs on me, I feel like the mummy. But it's a beautiful morning. Huh. Something got me. Didn't even feel that one. Getting immune to these things, I've been bit so many times. I know I did the whole Ultralight thing, but I don't feel much of a difference. Sorry, Ultralighters, but I'm not going to worry about what my pack weight is. That's not to say you shouldn't worry about it, but I pretty much bring the exact same thing every time. Give or take a few ounces when I switch one thing out for another, because I feel like using that this time versus this. But other than that, pretty much dialed in. And I'm within, you know, of course it changes between summer and winter. You're going to add a little bit in winter time because you need more. It's not life altering with that extra pound or two. I would rather the luxury. We're back to this. The trail less traveled and Squaw Lake. I really want to see Squaw Lake, but I guess another time. Yeah, we'll keep going. Ah, yes, I remember this. The moment I realized something was terribly wrong. Yes, so on the research that I did, this is allegedly how far you can drive. Clearly it's not. It is another 2.5 miles back down this trail / road. And then 2.6 to Indian Lake. And 10.2 to Horn Lake. Good thing I wasn't ambitious and planned on Horn Lake. Grouse just scared the out of me. Practically stepped on her. 12 inches away from my right foot. Oh my gosh, I was completely just relaxed and zoned out. It's funny how something like that, I could see a bear, a moose, and you know, I'll be aware of the danger, but it's not going to freak me out. Something as simple as a little bird, game bird, can take your heartbeat up 30 beats a minute in under a second. Well, I know what that bridge means. Other than cobwebs on the camera. We're very, very close to the end. And hopefully, my truck is another couple hundred yards up this hill. Oh yeah. Uh, 5.35 out. All right. Well, there you have it. Ultralight backpacking trip to a remote, very remote lake in the Adirondacks, and it was basically a test to see where I am in the healing process, and I think I passed, especially since we doubled the mileage. That was a good trip. Beyond all that, I really needed that, so I'm glad this happened. Couldn't ask for better weather. It's been fun, and I will see you all on the next trail. Peace out, tribe.